watching The Kate Fox Show. I'm Kate Fox, and today I am speaking with Manny Erias, also known as Tugboat Manny.
Yes, how you doing? Thanks for having me on the show, Kate.
I'm glad you're here, Manny.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm here.
It's funny, in my head I was starting to think, because we go back a ways, and
Yeah.
I've interviewed you before.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a rough ride, because sometimes you have great stories.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. To say it's a rough ride is not being fair to you. It's just you have so many things to tell that sometimes it's hard to know when to stop, because I want to hear them.
Right.
So, but you have first of all, you are a veteran.
Yeah, former naval reservist, and I joined in 1993, and I got discharged in 2001, honorable discharge, and believe it or not, it was medically because of my teeth. I needed to get dental work done.
Really?
Yeah, you can't. They don't want people in like war with a toothache. But you know how you have a tooth? You ever get a toothache?
Yeah.
Okay, imagine holding a rifle or something, or you got to press a button or do something. They want you to be physically fit, and I needed teeth work done. I couldn't afford to get it done. I was waitering at the time, and I didn't set my priorities right either.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna say it's part of my fault too, but. So I got released out of the Navy by that, but it's an honorable discharge. I was a seaman, an airman, and I was also like a medic, but I never went to medic school. They put me. When I drilled here in Pennsylvania, and then I moved to Florida, and in Tampa I went to Orlando. When I got to the Orlando base, they said, "Well, what do you like to do?" I said, "I like hospital stuff." So they put me in a hospital unit. So I did that for like 3 years. Used to do blood pressures, EKGs, the shots, and all that stuff. I learned on the job training.
I love it.
Yeah.
So you learn something every day, folks.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense, never would have thought that you could be discharged because of your teeth.
Yeah.
And now I'm learning more about you too.
Right, yeah. I remember one time we had it was like once a month, 1 week in a month, so we would have people come in and they would get to get their shots or whatever. So this one commander came in, and I said, "Don't worry, Commander." I said, "The last person passed out," and he immediately got up and left the room. And
people still leave the room on you today. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
My comedy show.
Right,
I know how to empty a room. Yeah, I like giggling.
But you should.
And meatballs.
And mayonnaise.
And Hellman's mayonnaise. Hellman's mayonnaise, yes.
Hellman's, excuse me. Yes. Hellman's mayonnaise.
Yes.
But now, okay, so you did that, and then now you were on a tugboat?
Yeah, I worked on a tugboat, and I also worked in hospitals too.
That's right.
That was always my day job. I always had the day job in the hospital and restaurant job at nighttime, living in Florida, and or the Boca Hotel or something like that. But when I moved back here to Long Island, I worked at Stony Brook University for 2 years, and then I somehow got the tugboat job by word of mouth through a family friend, And I went from waiting tables to pushing people into CAT scan to get their CAT scan to now I'm tying up this big boat. I'm the guy that's first line. The freaking thing pops up, stretches, people have been killed out there in this job. It's crazy. And I went straight from, they're like, how did you get here? When I got the Borgata, there's this guy, Gemini, John Lombardi. He's hysterical. He's like, "Let me ask you something." He's like, "How?" This is after the first night I performed. He's like, "How did you get here?" And I said, "I'm very talented." And he just started laughing.
I love it. But now you said the Borgata, so
yeah.
We're going to go. You did how many nights at the Borgata?
7 nights in a row.
7 nights in a row. You did your comedy act.
Yeah.
And you've been doing comedy for how long?
6 years. Yep. So like March will be my 7th year.
Wow.
Yeah, March 13th, 2013. March 19th, 2013, I took a comedy class. That's when I say I started. People say, Gemini said I really started my career when I met Darcy and Richie Minervini. You know?
That's right. And then, you know what, because you just mentioned Darcy, apparently I can't speak tonight. You just mentioned Darcy, you just mentioned Richie. So what I want to do is we're going to take a quick break.
Yeah.
And then we're going to come back and ask you about it.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And we're talking with Tugboat Manny, which is your stage name, of course. Mm-hmm. And you just mentioned Darcy and Richie Minervini. So I know who Darcy Novick is, but how did you meet her?
I met her through actually Rich Walker, who actually, you know, I signed up and took his comedy class under Peter Bales and Steve Lazarus called Stand Up University. And I met them at I met Darcy at an internet TV radio station here in Long Island. Mm-hmm. That was in Deer Park, and they said this is Darcy Novick, and they said she's friends with Kevin James, and I said, who's Kevin James? And I didn't know, but she didn't like that.
Oh,
she didn't like
really?
it. Yeah. But look what the woman's done for me. She's unbelievable.
Yeah.
She's given me my most and my biggest opportunities. And Richie Minervini. And they're very uplifting, you know.
Well, I know Darcy. I've never met Richie, but I know...
Darcy's a breast cancer survivor like yourself.
Darcy's the very first survivor I spoke to when I was diagnosed.
Wow.
So that's...
Yeah.
You know, I hold her in very high regard. Plus, she's a great... forget about that. She's a great person.
Yes.
And so you volunteered for her many, many times.
Yeah, I remember I volunteered at the Jones Beach.
Making strides.
Yes, and she said be there at 6, and I got there at 6:15, and she's like, this is in the morning, and she's like, she's like, you're late, and I'm like, oh, and I was like, so, and then we started doing things. Then I was doing the credit card machine. She's like, you're fired. You can't write straight.
Oh, that's fun. Well, because you were working with her for her charity, Bosom Buddies.
Yeah. Volunteering.
Yeah, volunteering, excuse me. But Bosom Buddies, because she raises a lot of money for American Cancer Society.
And that day, I lost my hat. My sentimental hat that I had comedians sign. And I called her up and told her, if you just happen to see the hat, just let me know, you know. And she called me back and she said she felt so bad about me losing my hat that she called Kevin James's wife, Steffiana, for me, trying to get an autograph or something. And Steffiana, in turn, said, how about 2 tickets to tonight's show at the Beacon Theater with Kevin James and Richie Minervini opening up.
I mean, how great is that?
Yeah, I cried like a baby. No one's ever done that for me. She's like, you want him? I'm like, are you going? She's like, oh. She's seen him like 1,000 times. She was so tired. She just raised like $8,000, you know. And I was like, I had no money. She paid for parking. Like, we met Richie before the show. And then after the show, we met, you know, I was in Kevin's dressing room with Adam Ferrara, his manager Jeff Sussman, you know, his bodyguard Danny, and just everybody was just very uplifting. And you know, I was nervous, I'm not gonna lie.
That's okay.
But Richie Minervini said the funniest thing was when I was nervous asking Kevin James about a time when he was nervous, you know, in his career. Well, like when he was on his first late night special, he like wanted to break his ankle or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then I ended up performing in front of Kevin James at Westbury Music Fair.
Which it's every November.
Every November, Darcy does the Long Island Comedy Fest, which is except for this year, she's taking a break. And yeah,
okay.
so,
Okay, but she's been doing it for years.
Yeah, 16 years. And I was on like, I mean, she's raised over 300,000 for cancer. And,
oh yeah, no, she's very dedicated.
And but the first time I ever took a comedy class, after I graduated, I went to see Kevin James perform at Westbury, and I took a picture of the stage.
I know.
And I posted.
I'm gonna put that picture in the. I'm gonna edit. Yeah.
I posted it up to Facebook, and I said one day. And 3 years later, Darcy and Richie Minervini both booked me for Westbury Music Fair. And not only did I perform there in front of 1,500 people, but Kevin James was giving me advice backstage. It was unbelievable. It's all so surreal, you know?
Yeah, but it's I have to say, you earn it.
Yeah.
Because you are a good soul.
Thank you.
And you help others. I don't know how many benefits. I mean, you hosted a benefit for me.
Yeah.
You know, that I was doing. You are someone that quite frequently people come to host these things and to be a part of these things, but you jump immediately. You don't say no.
Right. No, not at all. And you just, you know, it's just, how can I say it? You know, like somebody said, like, what's it like getting a laugh, or what's it like, the reward, or they want to hear what it's like to, you get all this killer set, but, or you get an award, or you get paid for it. But to me, when I performed at the Northport VA Hospital in the psychiatric unit, last minute spot, I was down in the dumps at Christmas time, and I did like 18 minutes, and I closed down the show, and I mean, I was up there, I said, is anybody in here crazy like me? And they all were like, yeah. I'm like, does anyone take Prozac like me? And they're like, yeah. And like the other comics were like, what is this guy doing? And then after I got off stage, somebody drew a picture of me performing, and it said, to Manny, Tugboat Manny, thanks for helping me get through another day with PTSD, Sergeant Welker. After the show, he came over to me. He was huge, a giant man. He was crying, and he tried to commit suicide 3 times. And he lost like 240 people in Iraq or Afghanistan.
Wow.
And he thought it was his fault, like this is what, like that picture to me of the story of what this meant, that's what I do it, you know what I mean? Yeah,
well, you do make people happy, and you advocate
for mental health.
For mental health.
Yeah, as I have anxiety, depression, mental health issues. Like I say in my act, my psychiatrist just upgraded my mental status to just below bipolar, and I said that's crazy because I'm not even cold. And I go into other stuff, but like why not talk about it? I take Prozac. I'm just below bipolar, and she's like, I'm like, why can't I just be full-blown bipolar? And she's like, do you hear voices? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, where are they coming from? And I said, the kitchen, so.
This is why I don't like interviewing
from the jar of Hellman's mayonnaise. It's terrible. Mental issues is a real issue. It seriously is. It was just. It is serious. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. You shouldn't be laughing. Look at you laughing. Oh my God, you're terrible.
I am terrible.
No, but why not laugh?
But if you don't laugh, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, and it's okay to cry. It's okay to cry. It's okay to laugh. It's okay to spend time in like Jimmy Valvano said, spend time in thought, spend time crying, spend time laughing, and just loving, and you do that every day, each day. That's one heck of a day, one heck of a week,
It's true.
So it's just a lot of, it's a lot of fun, it's just really cool. I've been very grateful for the opportunities that I get.
Well, we're going to take one more break. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about the opportunities you have right now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. We'll be right back.
And you're watching the K Fox Show.
And we are back. And now, Manny, you have two, I mean, you have a lot coming up, and I'm going to ask you about that, but you recently announced that you're sort of going back to a little bit comedy roots.
Oh, yeah, it's very exciting. I get the chills talking about it, thinking about it. Richie Minervini used to own the East Side Comedy Club here in Long Island, which was in Huntington. And he owned it back in the 80s and the early 90s, and he bought a new one, I think, in Farmingdale or something like that. But the original East Side Comedy Club was in Huntington, and that's where stars like Jerry Seinfeld, Kevin James, Rosie O'Donnell, Bob Bartlett, Paul Reiser, Judd Apatow.
Wow.
Judd Apatow was a busboy there.
I didn't know that.
Jim Carrey performed there. Rock Rubin, Joey Cola, Jackie the Joke Man Martling, Eddie Murphy, you know, Adam Ferrara. All these people started there, you know. And my friend Gregory Cave happened to be talking to this guy Mike Marcello, who's friends with the new owners of the East Side Comedy Club, which it's not a comedy club. It's an Italian restaurant called Pomodorino.
Pomodorino.
Yeah, there was like 3 of them, but the one in Huntington stayed, and the new owner just bought it. So through word of mouth, they heard about me, and then I went down there and talked to them, and then I told them about that I'm friends with Richie, brought Richie there. We had a 3-hour meeting, and I'm going to be hosting comedy shows there called East Side Comedy Night, bringing back Richie Minervini's famous East Side Comedy Club. And the first show is actually next Thursday, the 26th, and I'm hosting it. And there's actually, I found out, there's 56 reservations as of today, which I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool.
That's great.
It's not bad for a Thursday night, you know?
No, not at all.
So it's a dinner show. You know, it costs $60, but you're getting talent like me, guys, you know? So, you know.
And so where does the other $59 go? Oh, but I'm sorry, I had to try.
That's all right.
You know I don't mean that, but I had to try.
I hate when the audience is funnier than me. but on the show, it's going to be a dinner show, like a 3 or 4 course dinner show. Soda, coffee, teas included.
No, I'm sorry. You're hosting.
Yeah.
And then
Chris Monty is and Joe Starr are double headliners.
okay.
It's a double headliner show, and I'm hosting it, and then that's a lot of fun. So, and the next show after that is going to be November 24th, which happens to be Richie Minervini's birthday, which Richie is coming back to perform there.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, I wanted to announce that, and it's cool because we got Gemini, who I perform with at the Borgata, who's going to be performing there, and the famous legendary Bob Nelson, who used to rock the house back in the day.
Wow.
He was Richie. He was unbelievable. Still rocks the house. So it's going to be a fundraiser for Richie's like cousin's kid, Jasser, who has some sort of disease that he's immobile. So they're trying to raise $8,000 to get a chair to get him in and out of the pool. Because when he's in the pool, he can do everything. Like,
oh, okay.
You know, but when at age 14. Everything's going to be on the flyer.
Okay, well, let me ask you
something. So we're going to be doing 2 shows. It's for that day.
Oh, well, now, if people want to find out, can they go to the restaurant's website? Is there another website to look at?
Yeah. We'll go to pomodorino.com, keep up on the event page.
Okay.
And then also keep up on the Tugboat Manny page. I'm going to let you know as well.
Now, that's all Facebook?
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram,
okay.
Twitter.
That's right, you're on Twitter.
Yeah, so...
So we can find out all of that information. That's really exciting.
That's exciting. It's going to be 2 shows. And then December 6th, I don't know if you know, but this guy, Get the Food Out of Here, his name's Fred Rubino. He does videos, food, he gets thousands of views. He's got over 100,000 fans on Facebook. He's performing December 6th at Pomodorino for the East Side Comedy Night. It's going to be rocking.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And so, okay, so your Facebook page, your Instagram, Twitter, pomodorino.com, all of that information is there.
Yeah. And Pomodorino's doing entertainment like crazy. And I'm also hosting a show at a deli called Joe's Campus Heroes in Selden once a month. So, and that's where I get like new comics on them, giving them stage to perform and all that. And then I also host shows at another place in Freeport called Elliot's of Freeport. And that show is going to be in October sometime. We just keep up.
Okay.
You know, and we can't forget about the Pink Pumpkin Patch.
We cannot forget about the Pink Pumpkin Patch because
First
this is
Company
really
Pink
cool.
got checked.
First Company Pink got checked.
Yep.
Linda Manano.
Yep. Love her.
And love her. They
Yep.
just got Shannon's Law passed.
Yes.
Which is huge. Check out the information on that. They are fighting to raise awareness and to have the age of women being tested younger as opposed to waiting till it gets older, because there are so many instances now of breast cancer occurring in younger people that they're trying to make sure that the younger people are not neglected.
They're doing an amazing job.
They really are. They really are.
And they have this Pink Pumpkin Patch.
And so, yes, they do it every year.
And they have pink pumpkins all over in the Babylon Town Hall with the stage there. And this year, I'm going to be performing a little comedy. It's going to be clean comedy for the entire family, which I do clean comedy.
That's right. We didn't say that. I don't think we said that.
I insinuate a little bit, but if kids are around, I just don't insinuate.
No, you're clean. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't like I performed this weekend, and out of all the nice compliments that the people say, one person came up to me. One old lady said, she goes, you know, you didn't curse at all. You were the only one that didn't curse. She goes, you're a clean comic. She goes, I like people who can do comedy without any vulgarity or profanity.
Which is huge.
And I take great pride in it. I love all comedy. I don't take anything away from anybody, but I just take great pride in making people laugh by not cursing or not, you know.
Which is, and it's important. I think it's important. And I go both ways as well, but it's nice to see someone, because you don't need it all the time. You don't always need. It's perfectly all right. I enjoy that too, but you don't need vulgarity.
Well, you know, an occasional F-bomb throughout the house on a Sunday. Those are historical moments, you know. Like,
Agreed.
And when it, you know, like, but it's fun to do it without.
So people can find you coming up where?
Oh, performing, well, I'll be with Veterans Comedy Assault Thursday at the Long Island State Veterans Home, performing with fellow veterans, 4 fellow veterans who are residents there. Tomorrow, the show will be aired already, but I'll be at La Busla in Glen Cove for Darcy Novick. This weekend, I'll be with Rich Walker in Brentwood hosting a show. I don't know exactly where.
But it'll be on your Facebook page?
Yeah, it'll be on Facebook page and everything, Tugboat Manny. And then, oh man, November, I wanted to say November 9th is the Deer Park Library. It's going to be a big show.
Oh, I want to try and come.
Yeah. It's
Deer Park.
Yeah, Deer Park. It's November 9th. They're running it. Veterans Comedy Assault's going to be there. It's going to be hosted by Tugboat Manny. And it's, you know, it's really going to be a great show. They're inviting all the community. The library is going to shut down, and you know, it's for Veterans Day.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah,
very cool. So check him out. I'm a big fan of this guy. He's got a heart of gold.
Thank you.
And I just want to say thank you for talking to us, Manny.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And this is the second time or third time I've been with you, and I love it, and I look forward to. Who knows how far I'll go, and it doesn't matter. I'll still keep coming back. It doesn't matter, no matter how far I go or don't go.
Very cool.
You know?
Very cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Tugboat Manny.
Kate Fox.